Most people fear failure like it's a final verdict, like one mistake defines their worth. But what if failure isn't the end, but the beginning of something greater? Legends aren't born from perfection. They're forged in fire cut from the cloth of rejection, built from the bricks of defeat. You want to be dangerous? Then learn to rise, when everyone else would rather lie broken. Because it's not talent that separates the great, it's what you do after you fall. Welcome to Stoic Blend, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we're going to talk about the real reason why every failure you face is a silent step toward becoming unstoppable. Most people treat failure like it's the end of the road, as if one misstep, one rejection, one collapse means the game is over, dreams buried, potential wasted. But that's not how warriors think. That's not how men of substance rise. And that's certainly not how legends are made. Failure only becomes real when you give up, when you stop fighting, when you stop getting up, when you decide that the pain is louder than your purpose. But if you fall and rise again, that's not failure, that's grit. If you take the hit and grow stronger from it, that's not a loss, that's wisdom. And if you get rejected and come back even sharper, louder, more focused than before, that's not defeat. That's evolution. The Stoics knew there is no such thing as true failure for the man who refuses to stay down. What looks like a dead end is often a detour to something better. Setbacks aren't meant to break you. They're meant to build you. Every stumble is a silent lesson. Every wrong turn is a redirection. Every heartbreak is a test of how deep your spirit runs. Disappointment? That's a teacher. Pain? That's the curriculum. And the greatest lessons don't come from winning, they come from surviving the loss. Everyone loves the win, the spotlight, the applause. But ask yourself honestly, what did your last victory really teach you? Did it humble you? Did it expose your weaknesses? Did it stretch your soul? No. Winning feels good. But feeling good doesn't make you stronger. Feeling broken does. Getting knocked down does. Crawling through failure while no one's watching, with no applause, that's what shapes the unshakable. Because the truth is this: you don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you're hurting. It's not the wins that define you. It's what you do when everything you planned collapses. When your body's worn out. When your mind is screaming to quit. That's when you're either broken or built. Most men break. They hide. They point fingers. They search for soft ground. But not you. Not if you want to be great. Not if you want to build a life that outlasts your excuses. The men who dominate don't avoid failure, they master it. They study it. They absorb it like a weapon. Because each time they fall, they rise taller. Each time they fail, they return more dangerous. What separates the weak from the warriors? Not intelligence, not talent, not luck. It's response. What do you do after the fall? That's the moment that forges your legacy. You can lie broken. You can complain. Or you can rise like a storm, relentless, focused, untouchable. You think champions walked a clean path? No. They've walked through hell. They've failed 1,000 times. Been betrayed, mocked, doubted. But they kept going. Because they knew something most men forget. The man who never lost is the man who never tried hard enough. If you're afraid to lose, you'll never win big. You'll live safe, average, small. And this world does not reward safe. You want power? Then own your losses. You want strength? Then welcome the pain. Because every time you lose and don't quit, you grow. You become sharper, more lethal, more unshakable. You learn to adapt when life hits. You learn to keep moving even when nothing makes sense. That's where warriors are mad, and not in the winner's circle, but in the mud, in the chaos, in the silence. You're not chasing trophies. You're chasing the man you were meant to become. Strength isn't granted. It's earned. Through pain, through patience, through every early morning and every lonely night. It's built in the trenches of rejection, In the fire of failure, in the resistance of discipline. So yes, you're going to fail. You're going to fall. And that's the point. Fall forward. Fail with fire in your chest. You were never meant to play it safe. You were meant to rise, to conquer, to keep going long after others tap out. Don't run from the storm. Pray for it. Because the storm is what builds the man who doesn't break. Each time you rise, you get closer to the man who no longer fears the fall. And that's something winning alone could never teach you. You gave it your all and still lost. You worked, you sacrificed, you believed, and it still collapsed. It feels unfair, doesn't it? That's where most people quit. But you're not most people. This failure, that's the fire that forges greatness. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from wisdom, from scars, from experience. And that edge, that pain, that's what makes you unstoppable. The winners aren't the smartest. They're the ones who stayed. Stayed when others left. Stayed when the lights went out. Stayed when the fire died, but they kept burning anyway. You're not broken. You're building. This season of pain, it's your proving ground. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Remember this. There is no education like adversity. The man who has failed enough, he stops needing permission. He stops asking, "Am I ready?" He becomes the storm. No applause. No spotlight. Just grind. Just motion. Just forward. When you've failed 1,000 times and you still show up, that's power. That's rare. That's masculinity in its purest form. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because when you rise from the ashes again and again, you become the man no one saw coming. Too far gone to quit now. Too built to break. Every failure peeled away a weaker layer until what's left is iron. You were never meant to blend in. You were built to break the mold. This is where your legend begins. Failure is not your enemy, it's your weapon. So go fail. Go lose. Go bleed. And rise again. Because real monsters, real greatness is built in the fire. If this message lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Like the video to remind yourself that every fall has a purpose. Subscribe to Stoic Blend for more timeless wisdom forged in the fire of adversity. And in the comments, drop the word unstoppable. If you're still standing still, fighting, still rising. You're not here to watch life pass you by. You're here to conquer it. Let the world see what relentless truly looks like.